Hi, I'm Alfie Templeman, and I'm here chatting with Milky.
Before we get into the debut album, which is so good, by the way, can you kind
Oh,
of
thank you.
tell me a bit about what kind of led you to music and songwriting?
I think one of the first things that really kicked me off was my dad. When I was growing up, he played guitar around the house, and he was left-handed. I was right-handed, so I had to learn backwards. I just kind of picked it up, and I was quite interested in music in general. It was something that I randomly had a connection with. So I started messing around on his guitar, but I think it was pretty soon I realized that I was actually quite into drums as well. I started getting into weirdly prog rock. I was quite into Rush and stuff, and I got really into Neil Peart's drumming, and that's when a switch went off, and that's when I just fell in love with music in general. So yeah, I dove deeper and deeper into just bands like Rush and Crimson, Yes, Genesis, stuff like that, and really got my ears listening to this stuff. And then yeah, I just delved deeper into many genres, messed around with indie, messed around with pop, messed around with rock, just everything, just whatever. I don't care when it comes to that. Because I know a lot of people are quite funny about mixing genres and stuff, but one minute I'd listen to a punk record, next minute I'd listen to a pop song or something. So it's just a big mixture, and I just like listening to anything really and mixing stuff as well. So yeah, and I just started recording myself as well.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that kind of like genre bending sound definitely comes through on the album.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, definitely. That was one of the most important things for me, just making sure people knew there was a lot of going on, like a wide variety of things that influenced me.
And so, debut album Mellow Moon is finally out. So the album kind of does document these like relatable topics. Could you kind of give
Yeah.
a little insight into the themes explored across the album?
Yeah, so obviously a big one is mental health, and it was the last couple years a lot was changing. I started the record when I was 17, and I think when you're 17 years old, a lot is changing. A lot of things are going on in your life. There's a lot happening to you. You're realizing new things about yourself, and 2020 in general, because the pandemic, I wasn't really going anywhere, so I was in my mind a lot, and I was figuring things out about myself. So mental health kind of became the main topic of the album. It was kind of like the center of what a lot of the songs were about. And I was carefully crafting these songs. I was making sure that I'd really go into detail even more than I used to. So yeah, there's lots of little nuances and little things that come up in the record, but mental health overall, and then also just having fun. In 2021, when I finished a bit of the rest of the record, I was just having fun making pop music because that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to have a nice time. I wanted to enjoy myself, and pop music was the music that I wanted to make. So yeah, it's a really nice mixture in general at the end of it.
Yeah, it's so awesome. And so there's also like these kind of like lighter moments with like Best Feeling, where you're kind of taking on the perspective of like a teen trying to chat
Yeah.
up and like do it, which I know you
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of this like 80s motivational video inspired tracks. Like how important was
Yeah.
it for you to have these more like light-hearted moments within the more like introspective tracks?
Yeah, I think it was very important. Yeah, there's that middle section in the record where it's kind of just taking the Mickey a little bit, and it just felt like a really nice breathing point. Like Color Me Blue as well, just songs like that where they're just a bit more light-hearted and not too much to take on. So yeah, I thought it was really important to mix those into the equation and just give a bit of breathing space.
And so, over the last 5 years, you've dropped like 7 EPs, a mini album, now your debut. That's so much music. That's like crazy. But how do you think like your artistry and approach to songwriting has evolved over that 5 year period, like particularly when working on Mellow Moon?
Yeah, I think I've just been a bit more bold. I've just been a bit more confident with exploring genres. It was always there, considering I started off with prog as a kid. It was always at the back of my mind, and it was always the music that I wanted to make. It was just how was I going to pull it off? And I think with this album, I'm actually exploring a lot of different things that I was probably afraid of messing around with, like the simpler things, like making a good pop hook, which actually is really hard to do. Making good pop music, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of time to master. But yeah, I think the confidence has just gone up. I'm not as afraid as I was before. And at the end of the day, it's so early days still. I'm 19, I've got so much more to do yet, so it's just fun. It's just I feel like Mellow Moon's an accurate representation. It's kind of like me saying, hey, this is where I'm at right now. I'm messing around with like basically every kind of sound, every kind of sonic. And it's kind of hinting to what's going to come next, basically. So I think it's a really nice mix, and it just shows the progression of my lyrics and just me being a bit more confident and honest as a person about myself. So yeah, I think it's a really cool release.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I love how there's kind of like, you know, obviously the like pop, old pop stuff, but you got some R&B in there, a bit of 50s vibes on the title track, like so good.
Yeah.
So nice.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Which three songs off the album would you choose to play to someone who had like never heard your music to make them an instant diehard fan?
Oh, cool. Yeah, cool question. I'd say a Western, the first track, just because it's got a really good mix of R&B, a little bit of indie. It's just hard hitting, and all the instruments are like actual instruments. You know, there's like no MIDI or anything. It's just like legit, like actual playing and just getting into the groove. So I think it's a good representation of like me as a musician in a lot of ways. And then Candy Floss, just because I think it's a really well written pop song. It's a really nice like psychedelic pop song, and it's got really cool juxtaposed lyrics that I'm really happy with, and it just sounds really cool. It's like a really good pop song that stands out to me, and a really good representation of like the pop that I really enjoy making. And then the last song, Just Below the Above, just because it's got a bit of everything in it, and it's got a very detailed, complex kind of thing going on with the lyrics, and it just feels like it's me like all over. So yeah, I'd say those three.
Yeah, love it. And are there any like lines or like motifs or lyrics on the album that you find will get stuck in your head more often than not, or maybe like one that you're most proud of?
Oh, well, the one in Do It, it's like Do It, that song Do It is just like me taking a mickey. But there's a line about me saying having a midlife crisis at 18, which I just find just utterly stupid. But it's just
love it. And so there's also the new clip for Color Me Blue coming out. Can you kind of talk us through your process when it comes to like conceptualizing the visuals for your music and like building up that visual identity?
Well, this one was different because it came, the idea of it actually came from my label manager Will, and he was like, would it be like hilarious if you just got chased around Bedford? And we were like, hang on, we should just do it with a bunch of blue men, like from Blue Man Group almost, like just like stalking me and stuff. So it's like I really enjoy it. I really enjoy like just doing something completely different every time I do a music video. So I look for just treatments that are just completely different, a completely new thing, a different vibe to what last time was like, just with like the music, really, you know, it's always changing it up and doing something new. So yeah, with this video, it was all about just having fun because this is a lighter song on the record. So I think it was really important to have a video that was as light as the song itself. And with this song, it was with this video, it was certainly that. Yeah.
So you've also partnered with Amazon and Twitch on Welcome to the Mellow Moon on Minecraft, which is pretty dope. How did that kind of come about?
Well, yeah, I had a Minecraft server a couple of years ago with some fans. And it stayed open for like years. We just kept going on it, and it was really fun. But I think Minecraft got interested. They knew that I was kind of into just Minecraft in general. So they put together this massive world that just kind of incorporates the album and the fun of the album. And yeah, it got the fans involved, got a lot of bands that I really love. And an artist I really love involved, like Todd Rundgren was in it, Phoebe Green. Yeah, like everything. It was a really cool thing to do. And I still can't work out how it works or anything. It's crazy to me, but it was really cool.
Well, that's so good. And so you'll be visiting Australia next month, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Apart from playing shows, like what are you most looking forward to doing whilst you're here?
Seeing friends. I've got tons of mates that I've been been talking to online for years, and like before I ever really like made it or anything. So it's like we always dreamed of like just going over and saying hi and meeting each other, but like it hasn't been able to happen until recently. So that's one of the amazing things about going all across the world is your job. Like that happens. But I'm really excited for it. Australia it's just amazing. So I'm really excited to get in there. Hopefully get on the beach, even though it's going to be winter. Yeah. But I'm sure it'll be still really warm for this British lad. So
I hope so. And so yeah. What can audiences expect who like attend your headline shows or like your shows with the Wombats?
I was thinking about this recently. I think live we're like a band, really. It never really feels like I'm a solo act. It's like I think we're heavier. We give it some oomph, you know, like when you come see us live, there's certainly a bit of ooh to it. So it'll be fun. I'm sure. I know Australian audiences are like great because I've seen plenty of videos of like King Gizzard concerts and shit. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. Yeah. I mentioned him earlier, but Todd Rundgren's like the king for me. And then, I mean, not for this album, but at the moment, I'm quite into krautrock and like Can are a big one for me, like Faust, stuff like that. And then Rush, obviously, and stuff like that. But also like pop artists like Charlie Puth is a big influence on me. I was really into like a lot of his stuff. Yeah, just a lot of random people. Todd probably, yeah, doing something with Todd Rundgren. Oh, what's the story? Morning Glory by Oasis. Like growing up with that album was really cool. Oh, good question. I think I'd have so much fun doing The Shining,
Yeah.
but I think it would be quite chaotic, wouldn't it? Like you'd end up being cursed by the end of it. Oh God, that's a really tricky one. Oh nah, you can't make me do that because there's the nostalgic kid side of me that's like, then there's also like just Miley's like a legend.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna slightly just say Miley only because I mean, Dead Pets is amazing. So
So good.
yeah, so. It was probably Bohemian Rhapsody to be fair. That was Royal Blood. That was like 5 years ago. Yeah, that was really good. It was at Ronnie Scott's, which is a jazz club in Soho, and it was like just a quartet called Finn Carter Quartet, and they were amazing. And the drummer from Black Midi was there, Morgan Simpson, and he was playing the drums, and it was really good. And I was pretty blazed as well, but yeah, it was good. Hemispheres by Rush. Ah, Spice Girl. I think I'd say Slimy Spice. To be fair, I'm going to continue with the S thing. The first one that springs to mind actually is when we played Boardmasters, which is a festival in the UK in Cornwall, and everyone was jumping so much that the stage was moving. So yeah, probably that. I think Limp Bizkit's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Is there another one? I feel like I've got Grant McDonald. I don't know if you've ever listened to Ram Ranch, but it's quite the experience. That's a really tough one, actually. Who has had a massive influence on the music industry? I mean, Kanye kind of has. I'm not saying that I'm the biggest Kanye fan, but I mean, he's definitely made an impact, hasn't he? Stop getting drunk on stage. It was when I was a kid, like I was saying earlier, when I was listening to like one of the early Rush albums and being like, wow, that is what I want to do. Like all of a sudden music was like became like 4D and just something else.